BYD sold more EVs than Tesla last year. Now they're opening factories on almost every continent on Earth, apart from Antarctica, obviously, and shipping hundreds of thousands of cars around the world. 400,000 last year, hopefully 800,000 this year. So Chinese EVs, they're showing up pretty much everywhere, not just in China, and they're on roads in Europe, Australia, Brazil, Southeast Asia, Middle East as well, in Saudi. It's BYD really that is pushing harder than anybody else, and they actually outsold Tesla last year in global EV sales, which still surprises some people. And now they're not just exporting cars, they're basically building the entire supply chain overseas. So factories, assembly plants, battery partnerships, things like that. It's not just about selling cars anymore. This is about ownership of the entire ecosystem. And yeah, I think this is where people misinterpret really the mission for BYD. It's not to build cars and sell them necessarily. It's the whole infrastructure and the shipping as well. Hello folks, my name is Ben Alexxander. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. So today, what I wanted to do is really explain what is going on, because I think the scale of this EV expansion from China into the West is much bigger than people think. BYD is obviously is the leader, but it's not limited to them. It's still massively underestimated. Most people think that Chinese cars are actually only popular in China. That's just simply not true anymore. We're actually talking hundreds of thousands every year being exported. A lot of the exports are going to places like Brazil, Thailand, UK, continental Europe, Australia, Mexico. Some countries are even starting to build local BYD factories as well, like Hungary, Turkey. And oh yeah, some people are saying that they're kind of the new Japanese cars from a few decades ago. I think those people who are saying that are bang on, really. In this video, I want to take you through what is happening, how big this trend already is, and what it means for the traditional car makers such as Toyota and Ford and GM, Volkswagen. They are going to have to move very, very quickly if they want to stay competitive in 10 or 20 years' time. So in all fairness, if we're honest, Toyota are making record profits. So they're not struggling at the minute. It's not currently an issue for them, but they are simply pushing harder in places where they want petrol or hybrid vehicles. So they're not really trying as hard as they should be with electric vehicles. Let's start with the numbers. BYD sold over 3.6 million electric vehicles last year, including plug-in hybrids. 1.76 of them were fully electric vehicles, which is actually a little bit more than Tesla for the full year. And Tesla is still dominant in markets like the US, for example, and some other places. BYD has quietly been capturing chunks of the global market share all over the world, especially in places that are price sensitive. So, places that have less money in them, basically. They've now launched exports to 70 plus countries. They've already begun mass production in multiple places outside of China. Brazil is one of the biggest of those places. The new factory in Bahia started rolling out BYD Seagulls, and they plan to build the Dolphin and the Atto 3 as well there. And that's not a small operation. They've got $550 million US in that place when they started it. And yeah, they've got a target capacity of 150,000 vehicles per year, local jobs, local supply chain, far less reliant on shipping, which is very, very, very expensive. Thailand, they're doing exactly the same thing. A brand new factory for right-hand drive cars aimed at Southeast Asia. Hungary next as well, with a massive plant halfway built, basically, in a place called Szeged. And also they're coming to Indonesia and Turkey as well, which is going to be a big deal. Turkey's not actually in the European Union, but they do have an agreement so they can sell things into the European Union. And it's no tariff, basically, and cheap labour. This isn't just about having factories. They're also scaling their dealerships footprint as well. In Saudi Arabia, they've gone from 1 showroom to 3 in the last year, and they plan to go up to 10 by the end of 2026, in a year and a bit's time. Not just BYD as well, this. MG, owned by SAIC, which is state-owned by China, has become one of the most popular EV brands in the UK, rightly so, and also Australia as well. With the MG4 and the ZS EV, they are currently outselling many of the Japanese brands as well in some segments, and they are priced far below what legacy automakers can possibly match. In Australia, the MG4, when it started, for example, when it originally came out, which is now cheaper, by the way, it was under $40,000. That's thousands cheaper than, Toyota could do the same thing for. XPeng, NIO as well, they are starting to build their own presence in Europe. Leap Motor as well, entering France this year through Stellantis. These are brands that did not exist 5 or 10 years ago. They're now being taken seriously by legacy brands, which is astonishing that they could just come like that and become, their major competition. 2024, China exported 1.5 million electric vehicles, and that figure could hit 2 million vehicles by the end of this year. That includes motorbikes as well. That is more EV exports than Germany, Japan, and the US combined. And the reason they can do this is because they've already reached scale. They've got cheap labour. BYD also makes its own batteries, motors, power, electronics, chips as well, different kinds of chips. I won't get into that. They have full vertical integration, and that gives them a massive, insanely big cost advantage. And total control over the supply chain. For example, shipping and transport, and they sell directly, no middle person. In Australia, for example, they now sell directly, so they've got complete control over that. This is where it gets interesting. While BYD and other Chinese brands are setting up overseas factories, many legacy automakers are still playing catch-up. Toyota, for example, only just ramping up its EV strategy to not even car sales really in 2025, and its main focus has been hybrids up until now in places like the UK, Australia. Toyota dominates overall car sales in those places as well. They've got no presence with pure EVs though, for example in Australia, almost none at all, and they only sold a couple of hundred last year. And as more affordable EVs come from China, the position is just going to get squeezed even more basically. So Toyota, I think, are going to struggle in the next 10 or 20 years. Volkswagen has tried to respond with the ID lineup, sort of, but most of these vehicles from the ID lineup basically are priced for Europe. In developing markets like Southeast Asia, South America, they can't compete. It's not possible. BYD is selling cars like the BYD Seagull in Brazil for the equivalent of, £14,000 or $16,000. That undercuts basically the cheapest of the hatchbacks as well from Toyota, Hyundai, by a lot in those places. Even Tesla will feel that pressure. They are strong in North America, but they don't have factories in Latin America or Southeast Asia. Their pricing as well is also higher. A Model Y often costs double the BYD Dolphin or the Atto 3, for example, in most of those markets. That really matters when buyers are looking for value and there's a cost of living crisis and the world's kind of going a bit wild. Here is where we are. So BYD has passed Tesla in EV sales. China exporting more EVs than any other country, multiple countries combined actually, and companies like MG and XPeng and NIO, they are now global companies and they are building factories, securing resources, buying land, moving faster than almost anyone else, especially legacy brands for sure. The big question is, will governments in Europe, Australia, the US support their local industries meaningfully with things like tariffs or incentives, or will they basically just let the market decide? You can buy what you want. What's the strategy? What do we think they're gonna do? Because what we're seeing now is the market choosing Chinese vehicles basically because they're better and cheaper. Huge amounts of people who are, who previously may not have been keen to buy a Chinese EV or a vehicle have now been converted owed to the quality and the exposure that people have had. It's exponential. This is something I see time and time and time again in the comments. Let me know, please, in the comments. Do you think this is a temporary trend, or are we witnessing a complete shift in, global car manufacturing? If you live in the UK or Australia, or maybe even Brazil or anywhere basically where BYD has entered, but particularly the UK, I'd really like to hear what your perception is of, the local perception is where you are. Do people trust Chinese brands, or is there still hesitation, or can you see it sort of tapering off? If you're in the UK, what do you think the atmosphere is surrounding electric vehicles and China combined, EVs from China? Thank you for watching, and massive thank you to all the patrons and members for supporting the channel. Here are all of their names now. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a lovely afternoon.